Hello everybody and welcome back to Tiger Tales, where you'll find a bunch of fanfiction and stories written and read to you by your host, me, Tai Tiger. Now, talking about fanfiction, none of the fanfiction can breach copyright or attempt to infringe on the original content, as it is just fanfiction. Let's dive in with Power Rangers Future Foundation. In the last chapter, chapter 14, we continued our three-parter with part 2, and we were left with Dante being thrown off the waterfall and Lucicon dragging the rest of the Rangers to try to find the Black Lion Animal Crystal. So let's dive in with Power Rangers Future Foundation, chapter 15, Assault on the Animarium, part 3. Lucicon led the group of tied-up fallen rangers up a rocky cliff. Service was behind them as they climbed. They got to the top and found a huge stone wall. On the wall was a carving of Animus. Lucicon grabbed Leo by the back of his neck and dragged him to the wall. "This is it?" Lucicon questioned. "Yes," Leo muttered. Lucicon threw Leo to one side. "Get them to sit by the ledge. They can watch. If they try anything, boot them off the cliff," Lucicon demanded. "Yes, sir," Service replied, and got all four of the Rangers to the edge and forced them to their knees. Lucicon stood in front of the wall, and suddenly purple lightning burst from his big horns and started chipping away at the wall. Luca turned his head and looked down to see the cliff and the massive drop, which ended with a quarry. "That's a big drop, mind," Luca said, with a nervous gulp. "We are screwed, aren't we?" Amy huffed. "We don't know that. Dante could still pull through," Chloe muttered. "That was quite the fall, and the pressure of the water would have been too intense," Leo commented. "Yes, but Dante's strong and he can handle himself," Chloe snapped whilst throwing a glare at Leo. "What do we do?" Luca asked. "Right now, nothing. All our morphers are still charging. Doesn't help the new guy led him here," Amy snapped. "I never said the crystal was behind that wall," Leo grinned slightly. "What?" Luca blurted. "Of course. There's no proof that Animus actually has animal crystals," Amy said. "So what, you're just killing time?" Luke asked. "Logan had a plan. I was just allowing it to unfold," Leo told them. Somewhere down the stream, Dante awoke, coughing violently. As his lung gasped for air, he noticed Logan sat there on the rock next to him. "You pulled me out," Dante acknowledged. "I did, yes," Logan said. "Not that I'm helpful now. Lucicon got my power coin," Dante muttered. "That's your first issue," Logan said calmly. "What?" Dante muttered. He stood up and took off his wet clothes and started wringing them out. "You keep thinking your powers are only a temporary thing, like you're borrowing them," Logan snapped. "Well, yeah, they're Adam's. I got his power coin," Dante replied. "No, they're not. The second the Morphing Master gave you the powers, Adam lost them. You're now the Black Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. Same goes for your friends," Logan told them. "Did you not hear me? I lost the coin. I have no power," Dante snapped. Logan then swept his leg under Dante, knocking him off his feet and onto his back. Logan then jumped over him as Dante grunted. "You and your team are the future. Stop twiddling your thumbs and help your team out. Grow up and be a leader," Logan yelled. Dante kicked Logan back and jumped to his feet. "And what do you expect me to do?" Dante asked. "I don't know. Ask him," Logan said, pointing to his left. Dante looked over and saw a small black wolf sat across from them. "A wolf?" Dante asked. "He only arrives when someone needs him. He ain't here for me," Logan told him. "Do you want me to follow him?" Dante asked. "Yes, follow him. I'll check on your team and report back," Logan said. Dante turned away from Logan, and Logan disappeared. "Sure, follow the wolf. Why not?" Dante muttered. Then he got dressed and started following the wolf, as the wolf started running off, and Dante carried on following it through the trees. The wolf stopped at a small field with one tree where someone sat on one of the branches. Dante pointed at the person, then looked at the wolf. The wolf laid down and just whined. Dante shrugged and walked up to the tree. As he walked up, he saw the person was Adam. "Adam!" Dante called out in glee. Then he stopped. "You're not actually here. You're not actually Adam, are you?" Dante muttered. He looked at the ground and kicked the tree with his foot. "I'm connecting with your mind," the fake Adam said. "Who are you?" Dante asked. "I am the spirit of the Animarium," fake Adam said. "Animus?" Dante questioned with a raised eyebrow. "No, Animus protects us," fake Adam replied. "What do you want with me?" Dante asked. "We admire you, Dante." We see your passion to protect and serve the helpless, Fake Adam told him. I do try, Dante said shyly. We wanted to help. Lucicon cannot get the powers of Animus. If he succeeds, and does eventually find the powers of Animus, we are all doomed, the spirit of the Animarium told him. So what do I do? Dante asked the spirit. You take our aid and stop him. Then all of you leave the Animarium, the spirit said. You're going to aid me? How? Dante asked. A little while later, Logan returned to the rock and found Dante sat there. I found your team. Did the spirit help you? Logan asked. They did, indeed. Dante grinned. He then held out his hand, revealing the silver wolf animal crystal. He's a picky one. You're lucky he picked you, Logan said. Yeah, maybe. Let's go, Dante said. Then he started walking away. Dante, Logan called out. Dante then turned around and to face Logan. What's changed? Logan asked. I decided to stop thinking that we are substitutes, and I decided to save my team and grow up and be a leader, Dante grinned. Good. Took you long enough, Logan smiled slightly. Back with the team, Lucicon was still ripping through the stone wall with lightning. Almost there, he growled. Suddenly, the wall fell apart, splitting off into several pieces, revealing a small cave-in. Lucicon walked in and roared outward. The roar echoed. There is nothing here, Lucicon growled. Lucicon then turned around and bolted to Leo. You said that there was powers of Animus, Lucicon roared as he grabbed Leo by the throat and lifted him in the air. Maybe I lied, Leo choked. Lucicon roared once more, then dropped Leo onto the ground. Lucicon, a voice called out. What? Lucicon muttered. He spun around and looked up, and on the ledge above him there stood Dante. Dante, Amy squealed. I told you, Chloe called out. Yeah, man, let's go, Luca cheered. You're cheering for a man with no power, Lucicon growled, holding up the power coin. It's not the power that makes a ranger, Dante called out. Dante jumped off the ledge and landed in front of Lucicon. He swung his fist at Lucicon, then tried to kick him. Lucicon just stood there and blocked all of the attacks. Then Lucicon pushed Dante back, then punched him in the chest, knocking him off his feet. You're still pathetic, Lucicon muttered. Then Lucicon turned around and looked down at the quarry. If I can't obtain the power of the Animarium, then I'll just weaponize it, Lucicon roared. Lucicon then jumped in the air, his entire body setting on fire. Then Lucicon dived down and crashed into the quarry, the ground cracking open. The Animarium rumbled under everyone. Dante got up and untied his friends. They all watched as Lucicon stood there and on fire, sending burning, roaring, demonic energy into the massive crack in the ground. The Animarium started shaking violently. What's he doing? Chloe asked. He is pouring his demonic energy into the Animarium, Dante replied. That will cause the destruction of the Animarium, Leo blurted. And the destroyed Animarium will rain down on people on the ground, Luca gasped. And that's a lot of damage, Amy gulped. Dante, what are we going to do? You can't morph, Chloe asked. I made a deal with someone, Dante said, holding up the silver wolf animal crystal. Then the crystal started glowing and it flew out of his hand. It then swirled around his wrist and then exploded with white light. As the light faded, upon his wrist was the lunar caller morpher. What the hell? Chloe gasped in shock. That's the morpher to the silver wolf wild force ranger, Amy squealed. But how? The wolf powers have been hidden for so long, Leo asked. Like I said, I made a deal with someone, Dante said. Then Dante pulled off the morpher off his wrist and flipped it open. I don't know about you guys, but the stakes are high, and I'm not willing to stop until we win or we are dead, Dante said. He then pressed the center button of the lunar caller and held it to his ear. World access, he called out. Then in a flash of light, Dante was morphed into the silver wolf wild force ranger. The other four rangers stood there, shocked. You don't have to join me. I understand. But he has Adam, and I am a Power Ranger. It's my job to save the world, the ranger said. Then he ran off the cliff and landed in the quarry. Lucicon's flames died down as he turned around. A new power and a colour change won't change anything, Lucicon growled. No, but a new mentality will, the Silver Ranger replied, tapping his temple. Don't make me laugh. Mentality doesn't change the fact you're nothing but substitutes, trying to play hero, Lucicon roared in glee. The Silver Ranger summoned his lunar Q in the saber mode and then ran at Lucicon. He slashed down on Lucicon several times, and Lucicon started throwing lightning at the Silver Ranger. I'm with Dante every step of the way. I've got to win. I've got to prove to my parents I can do this, Chloe said. She then looked at her friends and then jumped off the cliff. In mid-fall, she activated her morpher. Dino Thunder, power up, ha! She called out. The Yellow Ranger landed and she ran to join the Silver Ranger. Loose Con kicked the Silver Ranger back and then the Yellow Ranger dived in with her Patera grips. She slashed down, then kicked the demon. She then threw her daggers at Loose Con. I ain't a good guy. Hell, I may be a bad guy. To tell the truth, I don't know who I am yet. But like the rest of you, I gotta step up and redeem myself, Luca said. Then he ran off the cliff and he activated his morpher. Time force, he called out. The Blue Ranger landed and ran into battle. He summoned the Chrono Sabers and attacked Lucicon. As he blocked the incoming attacks from the Yellow Ranger, the Blue Ranger slashed horizontally across his legs. Then he slashed upwards as he spun around and kicked Lucicon. I ain't just a kid. I ain't just someone who waits around for her mother to wake up. I'm a huge fan of Power Rangers, and I know I can do some good here, Amy said. She then ran off the cliff and activated her morpher. Let's rock it, yo, she called out. The Pink Ranger landed and she ran into the battle, summoning her satellite stunner, shooting Lucicon repeatedly before flipping over him, landing behind him. She then punched him several times, then kicked him twice before jumping up, unleashing the satellite stunner once more. I've only met these Rangers less than a day ago. And I can already tell these Rangers are going to do great. I am honoured to be part of this team, Leo said. Then he ran off the cliff and activated his morpher. World access, he called out. The Red Ranger landed into the battle and started attacking the demon with his claws, scratching down the demon's chest. He then jumped up onto the demon, forcing the demon to the floor. Then the Red Ranger started dragging the demon across the floor by his claws. Then the Red Ranger then let go of the demon and flipped backwards. The Ranger all circled Lucicon as he stood. Guys, take aim, the Silver Ranger called out. The Silver Ranger aimed his Lunar Q in blaster mode. The Blue Ranger summoned his Vortex Blaster. The Pink Ranger aimed her Satellite Stunner. The Yellow Ranger summoned her Thundermax Blaster. And the Red Ranger summoned his Lion Blaster. Fire, the Silver Ranger called out. All 5 Rangers pulled their triggers. All 5 energy blasts hit Lucicon. The demon roared as sparks flew off him, and the Rangers grouped up. You will not win, Lucicon roared, his voice now shaken and crackly. That's twice you've been wrong, the Silver Ranger said. Enlighten me, Lucicon muttered. You said we were substitutes playing hero. Well, you're wrong. We may be using powers from previous Rangers. We have earned the right to call ourselves Power Rangers, the Silver Ranger said. He stepped forward and changed his Lunar Q into Saber mode. I am Dante, the Silver Wild Force Ranger, he called out, dropping to his fighting stance. The Yellow Ranger stepped forward and summoned her Patera grips. I am Chloe, and I'm the Yellow Dino Thunder Ranger, she called out, and dropped to her fighting stance. The Blue Ranger summoned his Chrono Sabers and stepped forward. I'm Luca, and I'm the Blue Time Force Ranger, he called out, and dropped to his fighting stance. The Pink Ranger summoned her Satellite Stunner and stepped forward. And I'm Amy, the Pink In-Space Ranger, she called out, and took aim. The Red Ranger took one step forward, joining the team, and aimed his Lion Blaster. I'm Leo, the Red Wild Force Ranger, he said. Is a bunch of names supposed to scare me? Lucicon asked. No, not a bunch. Just one, Silver Ranger said. And what's that? Lucicon asked. We are the Power Rangers Future Foundation, the Silver Ranger called out. Then the Silver, Blue and Yellow Ranger all ran at Lucicon. The Red and Pink Rangers pulled their triggers. 2 energy blasts hit Lucicon in the chest. Then the Blue Ranger slashed downwards with his Chrono Sabers. The Yellow Ranger slashed the demon with her Patera grips. Then the Silver Ranger jumped up and landed, slashing down, hitting Lucicon with his Lunar Q. The demon fell backwards, hitting the floor, and the demon exploded in a pure purple and black flame, leaving nothing but a big pile of green goo on the floor, with several small slivers of different coloured crystals. The Rangers all demorphed. A sigh of relief and a gentle, victorious atmosphere settled in. The Animarium stopped shaking. Dante looked down on the floor and he found the mast on Power Coin. He picked it up and a sudden wave of power rushed through him. Am I back in black, baby? Dante whispered. The Rangers all headed back to the pond site. Thank you, Leo, for your help, Dante said. You're very welcome. Thank you for helping save the Animarium, and of course the world. I hope once again we can work together, Leo replied. Oh yeah, about that, look. I must admit, you're kinda weird, and I think that's because you have no insight into society, which is okay, but you're a great fighter, and a ranger, so I asked a good friend of ours to make you this, Luca told him, and pulled out of his pocket a communicator. Leo took it from Luca. Thank you, Leo cheered. When we need you, we'll call, Luca smiled. Question is, do we still need our powers? Amy asked. Well, we still don't know where the Stolen Ranger powers and abducted rangers are, and Logan told me that LooseCon ain't alone, and there's still service. Whoever's out there will need to make their presence known at some point, so I guess we wait, Dante said with a half smile. The Rangers all said their goodbyes to Leo. See you soon, Leo. Alright, Rangers, let's get ourselves home. Dante grinned. Then the 4 Rangers hit their communicators and were teleported back to the ground. Amy said goodbye to the trio and headed home. Sorry you lost your powers, Dante, Chloe said with a slight frown. Actually, about that, Dante said. He pulled out the power morpher from his pocket. How? Luke asked. I don't know, but here's the mad thing, Dante said. He then closed his eyes and a small shimmer of silver rippled over Dante. Then the power morpher evaporated into black energy. Then Dante pulled out the lunar corner morpher from his pocket. Whoa, so you can use both powers? Luke asked. This is just a one-time thing, maybe? Dante grinned. But I definitely can't use both at the same time, he said. A new ranger, 2 new ranger powers, LooseCon is gone. Man, this is a good day, Chloe cheered. Yeah, I might actually sleep in tomorrow, Dante said. Then Chloe and Luca laughed. The trio walked back to the apartment to tell CJ everything that happened. Back on Animarium, the remnants of LooseCon started shifting. The red crystal floated out of the green goo and shattered, leaving no trace. Then the blue crystal started glowing. Then vines ripped through the goo and formed a new monster. The crystals all floated up and attached itself to the monster's chest, the blue crystal glowing bright. The monster stood there, purple and grey, armoured, yellow eyes holding a staff. The monster had a huge singular horn on its head. The monster was known as an orc. I am reborn, LooseCon roared. Then he teleported away. LooseCon teleported into his volcanic lair, where he found 2 mutants waiting for him. One fat and short, and one tall and skinny with lanky arms. LooseCon stumbled into his chair, powerless. Who are you? And why are there 2 mutants in my lair? LooseCon asked. I am Screw. This is Chucky, and we want to help you. For a chance to kill the Blue Ranger, the lanky one growled. Fine, you can help. We need power. In this orc form, I am currently powerless. Go make fear, make destruction. Give me time. I need to recharge my strength, LooseCon told them. Your wish is my command, both mutants said in unison. Somewhere across town, in a small cafe, a young man sat there waiting for the waitress to pour his coffee. His second cup of the day. Sorry, hate to ask, but are you a Power Ranger? That kind of looks like a morpher, the waitress asked, pointing to the watch on the man's wrist. No, I hate to burst your bubble, but I'm not sorry, the man replied. So what do you do then? The waitress asked in a flirtatious manner. I'm a plumber, the man replied. His watch started glowing green suddenly. Can I have this to go? The man asked. Yeah, sure. Can I have a name for the cup? The waitress asked. Yeah, it's Jackson, the man replied. In the land of time without time and space, William Cranston stood there, in front of 4 chessboards and a small table with a handful of black, white and silver chess pieces. Across from him was the knight, who was asking a lot of questions. So we now have 4 chessboards, the knight asked? Yes, one is of Future Foundation, which Dante so happily named, in the universe 113. The second one is its parallel universe, 311. And the third one is Universe 35, where the Armada won and the Rangers lost. And this one is Universe 2118, or 2118, where gods have power over the Morphin Grid, William explained. So why does the first one and second one have full set of pieces, where the last 2 don't, the knight asked. Well, LooseCon now has been reset, and he now has a new set of powers being a mutant, giving a new way to make monsters. Then we have 311. Their story will begin very soon. The universe has a similar makeup to 113, but with slight differences. So that's why they both have full sets. Now, to Universe 35. There isn't a full team here, but it shall be interesting, as the white pieces eventually will be some of the strongest duo out there. Then last one, here, 2118, will be a full set eventually. There's a few events that must happen first. The Englishman shall be going from where he is now, which is, of course, the Ultra Rangers and Cyberforce Rangers. He shall pay a visit to Future Foundation, and then his chess piece shall come to this board, William explained. How are you able to do all this, that I asked. I have power of the Morphin Grid, you know this. It is my duty to defend. certain universes which are connected to the morphing grid. I must make sure they go down the right path, William explained. But, sir, what about those that aren't connected to the morphing grid? The knight asked. They have their own guardians, I suppose, William told them. One more question, sir. Where is the ranger? The knight asked whilst looking around. See, you are here to help, and eventually you'll be going to all 4 of these universes. My plan needs you. You are an essential piece of my plan. The ranger was only temporary. He had passed his time here, and is currently waiting in a portal void space in a coma-like state. His arrival to his new universe is upon us, but not yet. Again, certain events must happen. Where his original memories can be reactivated, his time here will be wiped from his mind, and his journey can truly begin, William told him. Alright then, sir. I shall head out and continue with the next part of your plan, the knight said. Then a portal opened, the knight walked through, and the portal closed just as quickly, leaving William all alone. Good, that gives me a minute, William said. Then William walked over to his workbench and checked on Alpha Prime. 87% appeared on the screen. William then pulled out a book and a pen and started writing. First 2 words he wrote were diary entry, which was followed by the number 650. William continued writing in his diary. In the universe 311, Luke awoke and climbed out of bed. He pressed the button on the wall and his wall turned into a transparent windows, revealing the hectic city. Luca stood there watching the city below. Then CJ woke up, rubbed her eyes and jumped out of bed. She wrapped her arms around Luca's arm and leant on his shoulder. Why are you awake? Luca asked. 'Cause you got out of bed, duh. CJ grinned. Then Luca kissed her gently. Suddenly a beeping noise filled the room and disrupted their kiss. Luca pressed his morpher. What? Luca snapped. Captain, the prisoner's awake, a voice said through his morpher. Brilliant, thank you for alerting me. I'll be down in a moment, Luca replied. It's okay, I'll make dinner later. I'll see you soon. I'll go do some yoga or something, CJ said with a small smile. Luca kissed her again, got dressed, kissed CJ one more time and then left the apartment. He went into the elevator and pressed the sub-basement 2 button. As the elevator went down the several levels of the building, Luca looked at the holographic screen tablet which detailed the information on the prisoner. The screen told him the prisoner's name, age, details of his arrest, and that all soldiers must be masked due to the prisoner being very dangerous with such information. Luca then put the holographic tablet screen down and lifted his morpher to his mouth. Quantum power! He called out. Then in a flash of red and black, the Quantum Ranger stood there in the elevator. The elevator reached the sub-basement level 2, and the door opened. The Quantum Ranger walked out and walked down the long corridor, and reached the big steel door where 2 guards stood. I wish to talk to the prisoner, the Quantum Ranger barked. Yes, sir, the guard said. The guard pressed a set of numbers on the holographic dial pad, and the door slid open. The Quantum Ranger walked up to the prisoner, who was tied to a wall. You know, if you cooperate, we could make your accommodations more suitable to your liking, the Quantum Ranger told the prisoner. What you want to know, the prisoner said. We know you're not Adam Park. That is the name you gave us originally. So what is your actual name? The Quantum Ranger asked. It's Dante, the prisoner grunted. Okay, Dante. Why are you working with a criminal known as the White Ninja Steel Ranger? The Quantum Ranger asked. In the Universe 35, Ozzy sat there holding the Super Mega Force Morpher and the red Super Mega Force Ranger key. Sat next to him was his new friend Albert. Now what? Albert asked. We go find the other Power Rangers. Or the other Ranger keys, shall I say? Ozzy replied. Albert nodded, then looked over to his other side, and the ghost of Jason Lee Scott sat next to him. What do you think, Jason? Albert asked.
If it gets us answers, I'm happy to help any way I can.
Jason replied. Yeah, Jason's down, Albert told Ozzy. Okay, we start tomorrow. Maybe we have a chance to save this planet, Ozzy grinned. And there we have it. Chapter 15 to Power Rangers Future Foundation. Now, I know this is a long one and I do apologise, but it is the mid-season finale. Future Foundation will come back in a couple of weeks. I just have other stories I want to get out there and I want to break from Future Foundation. Now, I hope you picked up on the little teasers there on a few things that are going to be happening on the channel. Follow me on TikTok if you guys want to be notified on what's happening with Tiger Tales. Quick shout out to the friends of Tiger Tales. First off, we have Zio the Hero and their podcast, Awesome Dudes of Bulk and Scholar Podcasting, Billy and Jim. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify, Apple, And of course you have Ben the Baker Ranger. You have the Red Cornish Ranger with his Naruto comics, which I'm a voice actor on. You should go check him out. He's doing some awesome stuff there. And of course, my Parabatai, we have Cosplay Dude 637 with his stories. Every single week, every Monday, you have a different story. And William is appearing in the Power Ranger stories that he's doing, fringing and embracing and enlarging our Power Ranger universes. Maybe for the better, maybe for the worse, who knows. If you've enjoyed this, thank you very much. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, and the notification bell. Go check out the other stories. More stories are here to come. I don't exactly have a full-blown schedule, so stories will just be popping up. Like I said, follow me on TikTok. I'll be notifying my TikTok every time a story comes out on here. Thank you all for watching. May power protect you, and I shall see you guys very soon.